thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Review It Man, reviewing what he can. Movies are his jam, so let's get twisted, man. It's Review It Rob. Hey, yo, welcome to the Review It Rob show. I am your host, Review It Rob, coming to you with a brand new spoiler-free review for this week. It is going to be The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That is the latest in the Hunger Games franchise, but it is a prequel. It takes place for the other Hunger Games films we saw. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. As well, you'll get your mandatory DC Films news and mandatory horror news on this episode, as well as a lot of other news, which includes a lot of Marvel news and casting news and rumors and all that stuff, and some other fun things going on around the world of films, man. Appreciate you joining in to listen to me ramble on about movie stuff. Appreciate you. If you can hit that like and subscribe, that'd be awesome, man. Appreciate that as well. But let's not take it any further away. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, the film we're talking about this week is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It is rated PG-13 for strong violent content and disturbing material. Strong violent content. It is a Hunger Games film, so that fits. It is an action-adventure film, much like the others, and it's running in at 2 hours and 37 minutes. We're going to talk about that. It is currently in theaters. The film follows a young Cornelia Snow, played by Tom Blythe, who is in the last hope for his failing lineage, the once proud Snow family that has fallen from grace in post-war capital. With his livelihood threatened, Snow is reluctantly assigned to mentor Lucy Greybeard, played by Rachel Zegler, who is a tribute from the Improvers District 12. So, Rotten Tomatoes critic score 62%, audience score 91%. Boy, they in the 90s over there. IMDb has it at a 7.2 out of 10. So what were my thoughts of the film? Let's go ahead and jump into that. First off, I started, I was like, ooh, new Hunger Games movie coming out. I'm going to rewatch the other Hunger Games films because I haven't watched those movies quite some time. The last time I saw a Hunger Games film was when the last movie came out. I saw that in theaters, and that was it. I haven't watched a Hunger Games film since then, and it's nothing against the franchise itself. It just doesn't pop up into my watching catalog too often. But I was, excited about it. I did enjoy those films, and when they announced this new one, I was interested in it because there's like music involved in it and everything like that, and I'm like, cool, this is a different aspect, kind of the same Hunger Games we know, but we're adding music, so that's cool. So I was interested in it going in, so before leading up to it, I started to rewatch the first Hunger Games movie. I was going to do like all the films, right? I was going to watch all of them to get back into the Hunger Games feel and reconnect with everything, and then I was like, maybe like 30 minutes into the Hunger Games movie. The battle didn't even start, right? They were just doing the introductions and all that stuff. I stopped it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I watching this? Not because I wasn't enjoying it. It was more of a matter of, like, why I don't need to do this right now. It would be better to watch these later because this film that we're talking about here, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is before the Katniss Everdeen story. So I was like, we'll come back to this, right? We'll go watch this one, and then we'll come back to the Hunger Games films. And that's what I ended up doing, and I went to see this movie in theaters. And I'm not even going to drag it out. I freaking loved this movie from start to finish, dude. Like, what a journey this film is. So, we're with Snow, right? It's Snow's story, and it is Lucy Gray's story, right? So it's both of them. It's going to focus on both of those characters. We have all our other characters, and we're getting introduced to other characters. There are other bits and pieces and interesting, cool characters in the film, but those two are like our main stars of the movie. And so we're, again, spoiler-free, so we're going there with Snow. What they're doing is this is the 10th annual Hunger Games. They're introducing new things because people have become uninterested in the Hunger Games. Of course, if you don't remember, the Hunger Games started because of a revolt that happened with the rebels, and they decided to start this game as punishment for the other districts for doing that. So not a full start at the beginning story for here, but early stages start of everything. So it's cool. It was cool to see that. It's cool to see that. It's cool to get into the early years of Snow, right? Seeing how he got built up and how he got to the position and learning all these things and all that stuff. Not how he got to the position because it's very early Snow, right? But it's cool to see him in the early days. I don't care what the internet has to say, honestly, not ever. Like that's not me. I don't care what the internet has to say about things. And it's furthermore when it comes to Rachel Zegler, like she's getting hate on the internet. I guess she's young to Hollywood. She hasn't learned all the lingo of things you're supposed to say in interviews. So some people have been rudely attacking her for that. But I've always enjoyed her as a singer. I thought she's a fantastic singer. I enjoy anything I've heard her singing. As far as acting, I haven't run into her as acting. I know she was in the West Side Story. I still haven't seen that yet. But this film, she's a powerhouse, man. She is a freaking talent, without doubt. I know the internet's not going to like that, but she's incredible. Anytime that she is on scene, or on screen, she's doing great stuff, man. Especially when it's the musical parts, which was again was one of those things going into this movie. I'm like, okay, I want to see how that all works out, how the musical aspect works out here. And it's not necessarily. I mean, I'm not gonna say the movie's a musical by any means. It's not even classified as a musical, right? Because if it was, it would be there. But there are parts where she's singing, and it's her character, and we're getting to learn parts of her character and who she is, and all these things, and all this nature, and all that. So those moments when she's singing, obviously I loved because again I know her as a singer, and I'm like, she's fantastic as a singer. She's one of my favorite singers. So I'm like, cool, that's awesome. Anytime she's singing, breathtaking, gave me goosebumps when she was singing. She's a great story that she's telling in her songs and all that. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like even when I left the theater, I'm like, boom, downloading those songs immediately, right? So I was doing that, but her acting ability in the film, good. Like she does very great facial reactions, face acting as I like to call it. Jack Black is one of those that does amazing facial reactions when in acting, and she is doing great stuff with her face in this film as well. And she's just carrying this well-known character in the Hunger Games series very well, man. So she's awesome. Tom's doing a great job as Snow. Like the whole freaking the whole cast, my God, is great. Peter Dinklage, oh my God, his character is freaking awesome. Highbottom, he plays him. Great, right? Viola Davis is in this movie. She's playing Dr. Gall. So freaking good, man. She is good at doing like menacing characters because, of course, she plays Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad films, and going forward and all this stuff, she was always great as Amanda Waller. And seeing her in this movie as Dr. Gall, fantastic, man. Again, like Rachel, anytime she was on screen, Viola Davis killing it with her performance. Jason Schwartzman, awesome. I mean, he was hilarious. He's the comedy aspect of the film. He's the host of the Hunger Games. Does a great job anytime he was on screen. He was hilarious. And the whole cast, man, like we can go through every single character. Every single one of them just absolutely nailed it from start to finish. Like this movie is, like I said, I love it. Like I left it there as soon as the credits hit. First thought in my mind, kid you not, first thought in my mind when the credits hit for this movie, I'm like, this is a serious, serious contender for being my favorite film of the year, bar none. Like, and yes, The Flash came out this year, and obviously I love that, and I love, the performance and characters and everything in that, and The Flash is my favorite superhero. I love DC, all that stuff. Like, dude, this freaking film was breathtaking to me. And again, we're all our different feelings, all our different pieces, and all that stuff. 2 hours, 37 minutes, that is a long time. That's not the longest we've been in theaters. We've seen Endgame, we saw The Batman, right? We've seen longer films, right? But freaking 2 hours, 37 minutes. Maybe it didn't need to be that long. Sure, maybe we could have trimmed some things out of here, but I'm not going to sit here complaining at the end of the day. Like, I love this freaking movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I love the story. I love the performances. I love what we've gotten in Hunger Games films before, like what we're used to. It's good seeing those things again on the big screen, but adding in this new element with, earlier time frame is the 10th Hunger Games. They're introducing new elements to the game to try to make it more interesting, to try to make people more intrigued by what's going on and having more of an interest and a vital interest in what's going on with the tributes and everything that's happening in the battle arena. The music aspect was cool. The fantastic. It's just I can't stop loving this film. Like I absolutely loved it. Like watching stuff on YouTube today. Like you get ads that pop up. Freaking that trailer comes on, or they're talking about that movie. Boom, watching it. Like 'cause normally I would skip it after 5 seconds when they give you that time to skip it. Nah, watching it because I'm just freaking fascinated with this film. And it's awesome to see. I don't put much in. I don't put really anything into the Rotten Tomatoes scores. Right? Doesn't wager whether I see a movie or not. I'm going to watch a movie if I want to watch it. But seeing that the audience scores at 91% is great because I see so many people on the internet again trying to be mean about the film and mostly about Rachel, which just stupid. But it's your own opinion, right? So the hate towards Rachel is what I'm saying. Stupid. How you feel about the movie is how you feel about the movie. But I love this freaking film. And again, like I said, I'm gonna have to sit on it. Don't want to have that recency bias weighing on me. But this film has a very good chance of being numero uno as number one movie for me because it just hit and delivered on such a freaking high level for me the whole time I was watching. Like I was freaking engulfed in that movie. Like as soon as it started, I'm like, boom. It took forever for this movie to start. Like went to a different theater this time, still a Regal, but like they were playing commercials, and then they played a trailer, and then they played more commercials, and then you were like, oh, okay, now we're getting close to the movie start, and they played five more trailers. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Yeah, I normally don't care about trailers. It's cool to see what's coming up, and seeing new movies and all that stuff that's on the way, and seeing an Aquaman trailer again and all that stuff, but man, they played so many like commercials, like literally commercials, and like every single Pepsi drink there seemed to have its own commercial. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But the movie experience itself was top notch, fantastic. Loved the movie. I can't wait to see what I come up with when I do the top 10 of the year because this movie is seriously on my mind right now. So that is my thoughts on The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Let me know what you thought in the comments if you've seen the film. But so excited. So happy that movie worked out well. All right, let's see. Going from there, let's jump into DC. We got some fun things going on over there, including casting news. Now that the strikes are over, we're getting more and more information, including casting for films, and we have learned that Maria Gabriela de Ferreira has been cast as the engineer for the upcoming Superman Legacy film, the first live-action movie in the DCU, headed by James Gunn and Peter Safran. The actress will play an authority member by the name of Angela Specca, also known as the Engineer. The character, the Engineer, has like this ability to like modify herself. There's like liquid in her body from like nanites or whatever. So she's able to liquefy her body to form like solid objects, weapons, anything of that nature, man. So she's a pretty cool character. A lot of people are gonna think like, what is it, a T, whatever. The character in Terminator 2. um, but yes, we got a casting for villain, if you will, in the film, and Authority member. Of course, we know the Authority has something coming as well in the DCU that was announced. Love to see how it's all working its way together. Superman Legacy will release July 11th, 2025. Again, that is the first live action film in the DCU. I keep saying that because we have Creature Commando happening next year, which I think again is a show. Yeah, animated television series. So we have that show in 2024 and then the movie in 2025. All right, speaking of the DCU and future going on with things over there in DC, big star, person who's starring in the upcoming DCEU release, the last film in the DCEU. Jason Momoa was recently on the Jimmy Fallon show, doing some promoting and getting ready for some things, and he was asked about his role as Aquaman, his overall status in the world of DC going forward. Momoa had the following to say, quote, I mean, this is kind of like the end of the DCEU universe, unless things have happened before, so I guess if people like it, but yeah, there will always be a place for me at DC. They like me, end quote. I feel like this is the end for him as Aquaman. Once that movie comes out and has its time, I think the DCEU is closed and we're moving into a new world. I think that he has been long rumored to be playing the character of Lobo. I think he wants to play that character. I think he would be really cool as that character. And I think that would be the fresh new start that would work out over there, man. So, yeah, I'm thinking it's the end. I could very well be wrong, but he's definitely going to be part of DC. No doubt in my mind. He will be there for sure in the DCU going forward. So, DCEU will end with Aquaman this December. All right, and DCU Supergirl news. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was one of the projects that was announced during James Gunn's video announcing everything as part of Chapter 1 for the DCU. And Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, we have a writer who's being written by, I suck with names, so it was Anna Narini, Najarini. I suck with names. James Gunn said, quote, her screenplay adaptation of Woman Tomorrow is above and beyond anything I hoped it would be, end quote. And she also has a bit of a history with the Supergirl character. She was previously quietly hired by Warner Brothers to write a script for a Supergirl outing that would have starred Sasha Calle. And remember, Sasha Calle plays Supergirl in the Flash film. Um, so cool. It's nice to see that she's sticking around and writing for Supergirl again. That's cool. As far as the Woman of Tomorrow who will be starring in it, I don't believe it's going to be Sasha Calle. It'd be cool if she is, if it is, but I feel like they would have announced that already with the characters that are announcing that they've announced will be crossing over to the DCU, like Peacemaker, Blue Beetle, Amanda Waller, right? So yeah, I think they would have announced it already if it's Sasha Calle. I mean, again, if it is her, cool, awesome, I'll be fine with that. But them not announcing it as one of the people who's crossing over yet seems little worrisome, I guess. But nonetheless, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is in good hands, it seems. All right, that's going to do it for DC news. Let's go ahead and jump over to the horror realm. The People Under the Stairs is getting a reboot from Monkey Paw Productions, which is, of course, from Jordan Peele. Universal will be behind it as well. The original movie was written and directed by Wes Craven, came out in 1991, right? And it has a history with Halloween Horror Nights. It was one of the first haunted houses over there for the event movie. It was the first movie house, right? So I'm interested in seeing it. The funny thing is, I have not seen the original People Under the Stairs yet, and I own it on DVD. I own it on Blu-ray, but I have not seen the film yet. That is on me. But good luck. I trust Jordan Peele with whatever he wants to work on. So we'll see how that all ends up working out over there. The Exorcist Believer, another movie that came out this year that I loved, that is officially going to be hitting Peacock on December 1st, 2023. For those of you who have not seen it yet, it will be available on the streaming service very soon. While we're speaking Blumhouse, they dropped a trailer for this movie called Imaginary. Oh my God. Like, what a time that movie is going to be. I can't wait to see it. You know me, I love freaking movies like that. Chucky's my horror icon, so I like the possessed doll kind of storyline, but it also has like Annabelle vibes to it. There's so many cool things about this movie that I like already, so I'm into it, man. I want to see how it works out. Let's see, In Search of Darkness. This team that has been making these awesome documentaries for the 80s horror films, and they're working on the 90s now. They're also doing a video game documentary called Terror Bites: The Evolution of Horror Gaming. Terabytes will explore the rich history of horror in the video game world, unraveling the stories behind everything from its pixelated past to its newest nightmares. It is expected to have never before seen interviews with some of the teams and individuals behind horror gaming's most important titles. The Terabytes documentary plans on bringing you a private tour through video games horror history. That is freaking awesome. I love that idea so much. I am glad they're doing something like that because it sounds really cool. And I trust them with it, man. Those In Search of Darkness documentaries are like 4 to 5 hours long. Maybe not 5 hours, but they're like at least 4 hours long. I loved every second of it, man. Like, that is cool stuff to me, man. I like getting into the history of horror. And now the history of horror games, which there's been a lot of horror video games, man. So I'm excited to see that one for sure, man. Like I said, they are working on In Search of Darkness. 90s is the next documentary they're touching on, man. So I can't wait to check out what they got over there. I need to finish the 80s ones, but cool, into it. All right, let's see. And for you Walking Dead heads out there, AMC has officially set February 25th, 2024 as the premiere date to the Walking Dead spin-off series The Ones Who Live. This is the show that will be featuring Rick Grimes and Michonne. So there you go for you deadheads out there. I don't know. They have this, like, this is their 500th spin-off show from the original series, but good luck. Good luck. I am so out of the loop with The Walking Dead. I feel like I need to do a rewatch and do a show about it. But good luck. I liked Rick. Rick was cool. Michonne's awesome. Like, cool. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the series again. I dropped out after a while, so I don't know what's what over there. So what can you do? All right, that's gonna do it for horror news. In the other realm of news, we've got a lot of Marvel stuff to talk about. Before we get there, Michael B. Jordan is set to direct the fourth Creed film, which is currently in development. Not too much of a shocker after Jordan made his debut with Creed 3. So not surprised to see him jumping in here to direct the fourth Creed film, which means I am gonna have to hurry up and watch 2 and 3, right? I've still not seen those two. I've seen the first one. Boxing movies, to be honest with you, boxing movies is like one of those genre of films that I have not uh, dove into, right? I haven't seen the Rocky movies. I saw the first Creed film. I haven't seen the other ones. I did not see that movie with Hugh Jackman and the robots battling. I've not seen the is it Jake Gyllenhaal? I think Jake Gyllenhaal has a boxing movie as well. Like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, the boxing genre is something that hasn't really, interested me for film watching. Like, I know the history of Rocky. I know Rocky's big to people and all that, which is cool. But like, yeah, it just hasn't tickled that part of my movie brain that's like, let's watch a boxing movie. I don't know what it is. Nothing against them. I'm glad that people do enjoy them, and I probably need to watch the Rocky films. But and I'll watch the Creed movies. I mean, Michael B. Jordan's freaking awesome. There's no doubt about how talented of a performer he is. So yeah, I just need to give it time. There's so many movies to watch, and they just haven't. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, now let's jump into this Marvel stuff because there's a lot of rumors going around Marvel when it comes to casting, and mostly all around this Fantastic Four film. So let's start it off with Pedro Pascal, the internet's daddy, if you will. He has apparently signed on to play the role of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, in the Fantastic Four film. Um, After long rumors of, many actors who could have portrayed the role, which I talked about on last week's episode, he has now apparently officially signed on, but there has been no official announcement from Marvel that I have seen that has stated this to be the case. Now, I have no issues with Pedro Pascal. He is awesome. I saw his clip of him joining Bad Bunny on SNL and laughed my behind off at all his scenes. He is great. He's charismatic. He's awesome. Um, so I have no problem with him being cast in the film. It's just at this point. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Going forward with other casting rumors for the Fantastic Four film is Mads Mikkelsen is being rumored as one of several actors that Marvel Studios is considering to play the role of Doctor Doom, who is the big bad for the Fantastic Four, and uh, you know, rumored to be taking over the direction now that they're supposedly worried about going forward with the Kang storyline, which I do not like that idea of just throwing it to Doctor Doom. You build up to Doctor Doom, you'll just throw him in there. Now, when it comes to Mickelson, like, talented performer. Let's not get us wrong here. I thought he was good in the Fantastic Beasts film. I obviously prefer Johnny's performance as Grindelwald, but he was fine. He's a talented actor, but he has been in the MCU already. If you remember, he was the villain in Doctor Strange. But Marvel does not seem to care about that. They've also cast the same actor to play multiple roles in Marvel before. Like, most notably would be I suck with names, but Gemma Chin, who played Minerva in Captain Marvel, and then played Cersei in Eternals, right? Um, and those two films were much closer. That was 2019 and 2021, right? And now with the rumor that they're going to be changing John Krasinski to Pedro Pascal, like, you have all these Earths, and you can just change the actor, but they are seemingly worried and scared to change Jonathan Majors from King. It makes no sense. I know it makes absolutely no sense, but that is the latest rumor. Now, like I said earlier, there are several names around this character, including Ralph Fiennes, who is awesome, fantastic actor. Jason Clarke, not 100% sure who that is. No, no offense to him. I'm just blanking on who that is. Give me a second. Give me a second. Jason Clarke was in. Oh, I know who he is. Okay, yeah. Immediately as soon as I saw him, I know exactly who this guy is. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's one of those actors where you see him in a bunch of movies, you're like, who? But you don't know the name, right? Which is no offense to them, because obviously they left a lasting impression by their face and who they are. They've been in a bunch of movies. I mean, he's in that Pet Sematary remake. He's in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Lawless, like I mentioned a moment ago, Oppenheimer, Public Enemies, White House Down, Winchester, the worst horror movie I think I've ever seen in my life. He's in The Great Gatsby. He's in countless films. Like I said, just look up a photo of him, you'll immediately recognize him. You know who he is. So he's a good actor. And Josh Hartnett, that one was surprising. Josh Hartnett has apparently been rumored for the role of Doctor Doom as well. And again, that's nothing against Josh Hartnett by any means, but I was not expecting that. So there you go. And so a long list of rumored people to play that role. And it doesn't end there. There's one more rumored casting for the Fantastic Four reboot, and it is Galactus, which again just seems like a character we should not be introducing too soon. We should be building towards that. Galactus, kind of a big bad. I mean, I know I'm not a Marvel guy, but I know Galactus is a big deal. So that seems like something you shouldn't be already jumping into, I would guess. But nonetheless, here we are. And the rumor to be playing Galactus is none other than Javier Bardem, who, again, fantastic performer. Got nothing bad to say about him as a performer, but playing the role of Galactus, who knows? He could probably do something cool with it. But nonetheless, that is what's going on. Is that everything? No, that's not all the casting news, but that's all the casting news around Fantastic Four. But we'll see how it all shapes out. Again, there's no official announcements or anything like that. That's just rumors circulating the internet. This one seems official, though. Robert Kirkman has revealed that Steven Yeun will be playing Sentry in Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts film. So, Steven Yeun, he's a good performer. I've mostly only seen him in The Walking Dead, but he was good there as Glenn, right? So, cool. Thunderbolts. It's a Suicide Squad type movie. Villains getting teaming up together. Yada yada yada. All that stuff. So there you go. Let's see. More Marvel stuff because apparently Marvel's getting its own part of the show here. Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi has said that he probably will not be part of Thor 5, mostly dealing with the fact that he's busy with his Star Wars movie. And he's also working on another film called Clara and the Sun that he's currently working on at the moment. So he's working on that and Star Wars, so it seems like he will not be have enough free time, if you will, to do the fifth Thor film, which I think honestly I'm fine with. Nothing is Taka. I like Taka. He's great. He's talent, funny. Have you ever seen that movie with Ryan Reynolds that I'm blanking on the name of? Um, oh my God, Free Guy? Is that what it's called? There's a trailer for a movie called The Fall Guy that just keeps messing me up. Free Guy. Yeah, Free Guy is the name of the Ryan Reynolds movie. Taka's in that movie. Hilarious, right? And you've seen him, and you know how he's fun and he's eccentric and all that stuff. Um, and Ragnarok worked out really well with Thor. Like Thor was probably the least liked films in the MCU at that time. I just especially coming out of the Dark World, and then here comes Ragnarok, which was just a completely different kind of movie and focused a lot on comedy and all that stuff and comedic parts, and it worked for that movie. For me personally, I don't like Love and Thunder all that much, so I think it ran its course, right? Kind of a Batman vibe, right? you know, um, uh, Batman Forever is like, this is different, but still kind of works. And then Batman Robin comes out like, oh my god, um, Love and Thunder maybe the same for me. Not as bad as Batman and Robin. At first, after seeing Love and Thunder, I'm like, Batman and Robin's probably better than this movie. After seeing Batman and Robin again, no, it's not. It's definitely not better than Love and Thunder. But yeah, I think it would be fine if we move into a different direction than Taka for the next Thor movie. Right? I think that'll be fine. Let's see. Scarlett Johansson. That's it for the Marvel news. I know, we got Scarlett Johansson here, and she's Black Widow, and there's rumors and reports that she'll be coming back as well as Iron Man to help save Marvel's asses, but that hasn't officially been confirmed either. But that probably wouldn't be confirmed. They probably just show up on screen because you don't want to spoil something like that. But moving away from Marvel, but still Disney news here. Scarlett Johansson has revealed some status on the Tower of Terror film that she's been working on for quite some time. The star said that, quote, now that the writer's strike is all over with, we're finally able to dive back into polishing up this script. It's massive, huge undertaking, end quote. Tower of Terror. They did make a movie with Steve Guttenberg back in the day. Cool. I haven't done Tower of Terror. I haven't had the chance to ride that ride, but it's cool that it still existed at Walt Disney World. I'm not sure about other Disney properties. I know it was changed into Guardians of the Galaxy over in Hollywood. Um, but yeah, cool. Do a film, Tower of Terror. Now it has the Twilight Zone attached to it in Orlando. But I don't think the film would have anything to do with Twilight Zone, but we shall see. But that is still happening. And is this last bit of news here? Yep, last bit of news. Fun news here. Deals with Peacock. Peacock has provided some more detail on the upcoming Ted series that'll be hitting the streamer. Seth MacFarlane is, of course, behind this, and we now officially have a debut date for it. The series will be 7 episodes, and it will be Ted, and it will be a supersized premiere, kicking it off on January 11th, 2024. This series serves as a prequel to the film franchise and will take fans on a, quote, hilarious R-rated nostalgic journey back to the 90s, end quote. Again, this is a Peacock special event series based on the character that we saw in the Ted films, Ted and Ted 2, movies that I did laugh at and did thoroughly enjoy. I like Seth MacFarlane. It'd be great to dive back into the Ted character. I haven't watched those movies in quite some time, but I did enjoy them. And sometimes when I'm uh, running through the social media sites like Instagram or Facebook, like a video will pop up of Ted, and I watch it and I laugh. That Law and Order thing they do, freaking always remember that. Always love it. Bam, 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 bam. Some law. Look at that. Look at that thing right now. Look up Ted Law and Order and just watch it. Watch it and have a glorious time because it is glorious. So I'm excited for that show, man. I'm excited to check it out. It's good to know it's still rated R. It fits because I don't want to censor Ted, man. So that's fun. That's gonna be fun. As far as Mark Wahlberg being part of the show, this takes place before. I mean, still Mark Wahlberg's character, but it takes place in a time frame where Mark Wahlberg wouldn't be of age, if you will. It's a younger Mark Wahlberg character. So, yeah. Anyways, that'll do it. That's it for the show, man. So there's your DC and horror news, as well as other bits of news going on around the world of film. As well, you've got your spoiler-free review of the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I freaking loved it. And I hope you loved this episode, man. I appreciate anybody taking the time to listen to me ramble on as I discuss stuff that I absolutely love and adore, man. So that'll do it for this episode. I appreciate you all again. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share. It helps the show. As well, follow the Throw Me Podcast Network on all your social sites except for Twitter, because we don't have a Twitter. But we have an Instagram and a YouTube where we do most of our stuff, and we have a good time over there, man. So if you hit that like, subscribe over there as well, that'd be fantastic. We appreciate it. It helps the network, and we appreciate all of you for the continued support on the network. So thank you all for joining in. I'd like to end every episode with this. Remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode.